Welcome back to WesWatches. Today we'll be talking about my favorite genre of watches, and that is field watches, military field watches. So this AddiesDive here is so good, and not only because it costs just $50. And for that $50, we are getting plenty. Let me tell you about this watch. There's something about a good field watch, the kind of watch that feels like it belongs in the real world, in the dirt, in the rain, or tucked under a cuff, on your way to a job that requires both grit and precision. The AddiesDive AD2070 fits that mold perfectly. It's not trying to impress with glitter, nor is it trying to break boundaries. What it is doing is nailing the fundamentals. With a perfectly versatile 39mm case, fully brushed for a no-nonsense tool watch aesthetic. This piece is powered by the reliable Seiko NH35, a Japanese automatic movement known for its durability and honesty. The dial, all business. Whether you go for black, blue, or that vintage-inspired olive green, it's packed with military cues. From bold Arabic numerals and 24-hour markings to a red-tipped seconds hand that adds just enough character. At 3 o'clock, there's a date window, and it's framed in red, like a target sight dialed in on practicality. You also get a screw-down crown and case back, full stainless steel construction, and a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating. The bracelet is a classic 3-link brushed steel with a signed clasp and milled wing. Built to last, yet easily adjustable with 5 micro adjustments. Now, this watch obviously has a lot to give, but it's not asking for a lot of money. The link to the listing will be in the description below the video, so do check it out if you're after a sharp price. And now let's dive in and talk about this AddiesDive in a lot of detail. Let's do it. When it comes to wrist presence, the AD2070 really strikes a solid balance between compact dimensions and assertive wearability. The case diameter sits at a comfortable 39mm, but what really enhances wearability is the lug-to-lug length, just 48.5mm. That's made possible by the use of inverted end links that tuck in beautifully under the lugs. On my 6.5-inch wrist, it hugs nicely with no overhangs, and that's also thanks to the dramatically downturned lugs. They fall off almost like teardrops at the tips, helping the watch sit low and snug. The lug width is 20mm, giving it that strong grounded stance, but you'll notice the bracelet tapers down quite sharply to 16mm at the clasp. That's a classic taper, giving a more refined, comfortable fit at the underside of the wrist while keeping things solid up top. Now, from the top-down view, this watch is all business. A brushed stainless steel case, no polish anywhere in sight, exactly how a proper tool watch should be. The flanks are flat and tall, horizontally brushed, giving the watch an assertive profile without feeling bulky. It's got a 12mm thickness, which includes the flat sapphire crystal, and it wears slimmer than you'd expect due to the lug drop-off and how cleanly the case is cut. Transitioning from the flank to the lug hoods, you'll notice the refinement, smoothed edges, clean machine work. There's a clear attention to detail here, and what's more, the end links slot into the case almost seamlessly, with brushing that matches the lug so well you'd think it was all milled from one block. Spin the watch around to the right-hand side and you'll see a signed screw-down crown coming in at 6.2mm in diameter. Not oversized, but tall and grippy enough for daily operation. The threading on it is notchy in a good way, making time setting and manual winding feel tactile and positive. Flip the case over and you're met with a solid stainless steel screw-down case back. Around the edge, the essentials are etched in. Automatic movement, sapphire crystal, 316L stainless steel, and 200 meters of water resistance. Let's take a moment to talk about the bracelet, because for a field-style watch like this, the bracelet plays a big role in both comfort and overall presence. As mentioned earlier, we've got inverted end links here, which help keep that lug-to-lug length compact and wrist-friendly. The fit between the end links and the lugs is quite tidy, and the brushing style carries across the transition really smoothly. It's an even, fine brushing, nothing flashy, but definitely consistent and well executed. Now, As for tolerances, they're moderate. You do notice some spacing between the links when the bracelet flexes, so it's not a super tight construction. On the plus side, that slightly looser tolerance gives you excellent articulation. The bracelet drapes well and feels fluid on the wrist, which, for everyday wear, is a win. The bracelet is held together by push pins rather than screw pins. Now, moving down to the clasp, and this is where it gets impressive. We have a signed double pusher clasp that not only looks good, but also feels premium. The edges have these subtle 45-degree bevels, giving it a refined finish that stands out. Let's shift our attention to center stage, the dial and everything surrounding it. Right up front, protecting that face, we've got a flat slab of synthetic sapphire crystal. Now, this isn't just there for scratch resistance, it's coated with a blue anti-reflective film, which makes a real difference when you're glancing at the time in direct sunlight or harsh lighting. It keeps the dial sharp and legible at just about any angle. And that's exactly what you want on a field watch. Clarity above all else. Now, behind that sapphire, this particular model sports an olive green dial. You can also get it in black or royal blue, but honestly, this camouflage tone feels the most at home. It ties perfectly into the military field watch aesthetic, rugged, subtle, and practical. There are no applied indices here, just clean printed text, another nod to that utilitarian styling. Around the perimeter, you'll find the chapter ring, and inside that, a full 12 and 24-hour layout. What I appreciate is the font choice. It's legible and modern, avoiding any overly stylized vintage look. It's all business, and it does the job well. At 3 o'clock, you've got that date window, and this is where the design team made a really smart call. It's surrounded by a thin red frame, giving it a bit of pop without throwing off the balance of the dial. That red frame works beautifully alongside the red-tipped seconds hand, which adds a small but punchy contrast against the green dial. Subtle coordination, but highly effective. Now let's talk about the handset. The hour hand is short and rectangular, precise, and to the point. The minute hand is a touch more extended, tapering nicely toward the chapter ring. And of course, as mentioned, the second hand sweeps across with that clean red accent. Text is minimal. Brand name at 12 o'clock, specs above 6, and that helps keep the dial symmetrical and uncluttered. This watch maintains visual balance really well. As for lume, you may be surprised by how good it is here. AddiesDive doesn't skimp on this front, and even without applied indices, the lume is bright and long-lasting. It glows with a cool, even intensity, making this watch perfectly usable well into the night. And rounding it all out, the movement. Inside, we've got the trusted Seiko NH35 beating at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It's a hackable 24 jewel movement with a power reserve of around 41 to 42 hours. For a watch that comes in at around $50, that movement alone already covers a good chunk of the value. It's accurate, it's serviceable, and it's built to last. Hopefully you did enjoy this review and you found another AddiesDive that fits your budget as well as your needs, because I can't see another daily wearer that's as functional and as practical as this one. Anyways, the link to the listing is in the description below the video, so do check it out if you're after a sharp price. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.